Hey everyone, I'm here with Michael Brandt, the product owner at Member Solutions. If you've ever used our member manager platform, you've already seen the results of his team's work. They're the brains behind the updates, the features, and the innovation that keeps things running smoothly. So today we're going behind the scenes and we're going to talk about what's new, what's coming up, and what it really takes to keep building one of the leading management platforms out there. So, Michael, let's start with the big picture. What's your vision for Member Manager right now?
Yeah. Vision for right now is implementing some new features, uh, getting some AI automation in there, listening to user feedback, something we haven't done for a while, and making sure that everybody that uses our platform is happy, and that when people want to join our platform, they'll be happy that they join our platform as well.
Awesome. So, Michael, how would you describe the direction Member Manager is heading right now?
Sure. So the direction Member Manager is heading right now is that it starts with us adopting a data-driven mindset in our approach to development and what features we want to implement. And that mindset transfers throughout the entire company. Member Solutions, we've been around for a long time. We have a lot of experience, a lot of expertise. We've seen a lot of things, and when you've been around for long enough, you get the idea that we know what happens next. And I think that at a point, we had to realize that maybe we don't. Maybe there's a better way for us to be more consistent decision makers internally. It starts with humility. The fact is we don't know the answers or can predict the future. So, what tools can we use that can help us impact our vertical or guide us in the direction of making better choices and decisions? And so that's what we're constantly focused on doing. There's a continual reinforcement in our group that what we think we know isn't always right. So we need to investigate everything. All data points, so what we think we see are real. I center all my thoughts around what to develop and how we develop as if we weren't already doing it this way, do you think this is the way that we do it? And then just building off those building blocks there.
Nice. So, when you think about the platform a year or two from now, what excites you the most?
Yeah, sure. So a year or two from now, what excites me the most is that hopefully by then we begin to see the outcomes of the processes that we've set up start really to come to fruition. And what we're implementing and the way we look at our data and our feedback loops are second nature to us. We can begin to say, hey, our focus on key drivers of success, our process and decision making, and a consistent feeling that the choices we've made over time have led us to more successful outcomes. When push comes to shove, you're judged by your outcomes. What's your quarterly statement, all that stuff there. So not the processes that you set up with the group leaders and stuff like that. It's not super important the processes that you set up. It's the outcomes that you have. So hopefully in a year from now, we see a high performing product in our vertical that can compete with some of the larger companies holding market share right now because our processes produced amazing outcomes.
Awesome. Now, I do need to ask, how do you balance listening to customer requests with the long-term product roadmap?
Sure. So yeah, balancing customer requests and long-term product roadmap is quite a strategy that takes. So I think doing that requires a structured approach, typically beginning with mapping those requests to long-term company strategy and initiatives. So taking those requests, aligning them to a long-term goal, evaluating quantitatively and qualitatively to help us dissect urgency and importance. The balance there is that being overly reactive can't come at the cost of compromising long-term strategic intent and data-driven prioritization. I think we spent a long time being reactive, so we would develop based on a need, but that need would come at the cost of something else, whether it's UX related or less rigidity in our product. I'm a big believer, and I stress this when making decisions internally with our team, that flexibility is not a feature, it's a liability. It's a liability in development and bug triage and product support. So when somebody calls in, ideally you want one workflow that you can solve for and end user and company product knowledge. That's something that seems great at first. It's a wonderful tagline that you can do things the way you want to do. But my opinion is if you can deliver the perfect experience for a feature module or workflow, there's no need to develop multiple ways to get to the outcome you want. The one singular outcome is the perfect process set up there.
That's a really great perspective. Now, let's dig into what's happening right now, because I know there's a lot going on behind the scenes. So, the next question that I did want to ask is what's one enhancement or feature currently in development that you're really excited about right now?
Yeah. So one feature currently in development I am excited about. I've always been somebody who I think access to your data as quickly and efficiently as possible is a key product differentiator, especially in this market where, it's a small studio owner. They don't have time to go digging through reports and everything. They know the information they want. They want it delivered to them when they want it. So one of the things we're working on is schedule report automation, being able to set up reports and then getting those delivered into your inbox in whatever cadence you want. Not needing to necessarily even be logged in to the platform to see that data. It just gets delivered to you. Big thing in our industry is follow-ups on decline renewals or payments that fail to process. So as quickly as we can alert those clubs and as easily as possible, that's the main driver behind why we're doing this initiative.
Awesome. So, can you share an example of how user feedback directly shaped a recent update?
Yeah. So how user feedback directly shaped a recent update. For me, it was check-in improvements. I've been on the front lines of soldiering that check-in improvements is essential in our CRM. I noticed it was something we didn't have a lot of engagement on, despite being a key area of our platform and data driver to other areas, like scheduling, program tracking, sessions. And for a majority of clubs, check-in is necessary to make sure the people accessing your club have proper access to your club. So I put out some surveys. A few clients were kind enough to meet with me. I'm always grateful when somebody can share their experience with the product with me. And, just as a matter of fact, one of the clubs that gave me the most feedback was a club that was leaving us because of issues related to check-in. So for them to provide that feedback when they didn't have to, because they're already transitioning out, speaks to the relationships we're trying to build here and the relationships we built, that they didn't just quiet exit, that on the way out they said, hey, here's a little bit of feedback for how you can improve your product.
Awesome. Like sometimes it's the small tweaks that make a huge difference. Is there one of those that is on your radar right now?
Yeah, I agree. Small tweaks make a world of difference. So for me, the smallest tweak we can make is simplifying the platform, removing areas that aren't used or that are duplicated elsewhere in the software. So going back to what I said about simplifying workflows and adding rigidity, just tightening up the software, making sure that nothing's duplicated, that it's easy to navigate is key for us.
What's been the biggest challenge or learning from a recent product release?
Yeah, there's a lot of challenges when you put out for us. I fully understand when we put out a feature, there's always areas for improvement. Nothing's perfect. We're never going to hit it on the first try. Balancing out, iterating on those while developing new features can be a challenge. So making sure we're addressing those requests and feedback in a timely manner can be a bit challenging as a lean development team while we're also building new features as well.
All right, well, awesome. Well, I love that user feedback has been playing such a big role recently. Speaking of users, let's talk about how your team keeps Member Manager intuitive as it grows. So, my first question is Member Manager covers a lot. So, like billing, scheduling, communication, engagement. How do you make sure it feels easy to use?
Sure. Very important for us to make sure that the platform is very easy to use. That's the core function of our CRM. So I think that happens by making sure the platform acts consistently and deliberately on user actions. And then in those situations where errors are introduced, making those clear and direct to the user and how to remedy those is key.
Awesome. So, what's something your team has learned recently from watching how people actually use the platform?
Yeah, so people actually using the platform is something we didn't have a ton of visibility into until this past year. So we have a couple products that we use that can generate insights for us on how people are actually navigating through the platform. So for me, it's some of, I call them deserts inside the application. So areas where views and engagement is non-existent. Nobody really ever visits those areas. So understanding if those are necessary and needed items in our platform, if it's a case of they just can't find it, or if it's a case of they don't need it, and understanding that. And then if removing those increases usability for other areas of our platform as well.
Awesome. So, moving on to the next question, can you share how the team approaches accessibility and user experience testing?
Yeah. So the team approaches accessibility and user experience testing. We have a open UAT environment that anybody in our company can access to review any work we've done before we actually release that work to production. We have a dedicated QA department, and also I have a few trusted clients that I will preview items with or get initial feedback on. And I'm always looking for new potential clients to try new items on for.
Awesome. Well, we're going to switch gears a little bit. So, how are you leveraging automation or AI to make life easier for our clients?
Yeah, so leveraging automation AI is clearly a huge needle mover. now in the industry. So for us internally, we use AI to help us with documentation. So when we have releases or knowledge base items, we leverage AI for that. So gathering all that material into one place and then disseminating that amongst the groups. We leverage narrative testing as well. So we have AI regression testing, and then we have AI that kind of acts as a general user and does edge cases and stuff like that. So, and then we also have a few items in development that we will leverage AI and automation, like I mentioned earlier, with the email reports.
Exciting. I love hearing how intentional the design process has been, but also I know that Member Manager is growing fast in terms of like its features and data. So let's move on to that. So the next question that I have for you, Michael, is how are we helping businesses make better use of their data, not just collecting it?
Yeah. So, yeah, how they make better use of their data is key, and not just us kind of collecting it and then they have to go and discover what the insights are from that data. So for me, if like JG Wentworth, that's my money, I want it now kind of jingle. That's kind of the way I feel about data information. Is it's my data, it's my information. I want it now. I want it in the format that I want. So introducing that automation, having our reporting downloadable in a digestible format. So ideally an Excel format or a PDF format, if it's a schedule that they're going to attach to the wall, is key for us.
Awesome. So are there any reporting or analytics improvements coming that you're particularly proud of?
Yeah, so we have a couple analytics improvements coming down, reporting improvements as well. One of the most stressful things for a business owner is missed or declined payments and understanding where those are coming from and that they're coming in and making sure that fees aren't getting charged. If somebody has a fee charged to them, then maybe they don't come back to your club. They not only not make the payment, but they don't continue to go to your club. So creating a report that is as close to real time as possible that allows you to follow up with a missed payment before they incur fees or penalties is a huge one. Like I said, it creates a downstream effect. You might not just miss the payment in that case. If fees incurred, that gym goer might not want to continue going. You lose more potential revenue, not just from that gym goer, but also maybe it gets out like, hey, this company charges these fees when cards get declined, and it just continually downstreams. And anything we can do to remedy that situation internally with our product is key.
Nice. So if we were to pull back the curtain and took a peek 2 years into the future, what do you think will surprise people the most about Member Manager?
Yeah, 2 years in the future, I think the most surprising thing about Member Manager to people is that a big torch I'm carrying right now is our member portal. So it's a self-service portal for clients to schedule classes, pay invoices, check in, purchase memberships. I think as a tool, it serves a lot of benefit, as there are certainly people who don't want to physically go to a gym to manage their membership or purchase a membership. They want to just sign up, pay, and then instantly have access. I think in the next 2 years, making that a necessity as opposed to an optional tool inside Member Manager is one of my main goals, and that starts with putting in features that gym owners will make them want to use the portal.
Wow, this is exciting. Okay, I really love where this is going, but I also want to talk about the people behind it all. So I have a few questions related to that. The first one is, what does a typical sprint or development cycle look like for you and your team?
Sure. So, typical sprint development cycle for our team, we develop in 2 week sprints, and then we release on 2 week cycles. So they're offset. So we'll release 1 week and then we work. So every other week you can expect something new in Member Manager, although the impact of those new items will certainly vary or even be noticeable to the end user. Sometimes they're just product improvements in the back end. So we have a roadmap we drive to. It's made of a mix of customer requests, company initiatives, and internal application improvements.
Nice. So something that, I deal with you a lot during the course of the time that I've been here. And it's been really exciting to be able to collaborate. But I would like to be able to dive a little bit deeper into how you collaborate across departments like support, sales, and marketing in order to align priorities.
Yeah, collaborating across departments is key. Support, sales, marketing. I always say, sales is our main driver. So we certainly don't develop in a silo. This isn't Michael Manager, it's Member Manager. So we do what a lot of companies do, where at the end of our sprint, we review with our internal stakeholders what we've done and get feedback there. We work closely with support, sales, and marketing to make sure we're getting feedback in as many ways as possible, and we're all driving towards the same goal. For me, I've always believed sales feeds. So when sales does well, everybody else in the company does well. So making sure we're developing helps in sales or things we're hearing in sales meetings, positively and negatively, is being addressed is crucial for us.
Nice. This is not part of the script necessarily, but I remember you saying that there was an email address that clients are able to email you to be able to share feedback. What is that email address?
Yeah, it's feedback@membersolutions.com.
Perfect. All right. I love that. I can honestly really hear the pride in the way that you talk about your team and your processes. So to wrap us up, let's look ahead. So I have some questions for us about how things are going to be moving forward in the next few years. So the first question is, where do you see the member management industry heading, um, maybe like in 2026?
Yeah, I know earlier I said I don't know all the answers, but where I see the member management industry heading in the next few years is encompassing a full house operations service. So by that I mean going to a martial arts or studio and saying, what software are you using externally from our software? How can I help develop that aspect of member manager so you can cut that cost out of your overhead? I think along with that, better lead management and automation. So the ability to identify high performing classes and contracts and create campaigns and awareness programs around that will be a big thing in the next few years. A lot of companies are using um, CRMs like Go High Level or marketing automations, and I think being able to add that to our platform in a way that customers like and use is very key for us.
How is Member Solutions staying ahead of those shifts that you've mentioned?
Yeah, so staying ahead of those shifts, going back to the full house operational piece, it's understanding what clients are using outside of our products and building those inside Member Manager or Member Portal, identifying those key automations and enabling those in our platform as well.
Nice. So this is a big burning question that our clients are really excited to hear. If you could give one piece of advice to businesses currently using Member Manager, what would it be?
Yeah, the one piece of advice I would give to businesses using Member Manager is do not hesitate to contact me directly with any feedback or reach out to support or customer support and give feedback. So whether it's through that feedback at Member Solutions email inbox or a call to client services or customer support. One of the benefits of being a vertical software company like we are is that there is a niche focus. So if you have a martial arts studio, I'd love to hear from you. And what's in the software you like, you hate, what's in other software that you, even if you're not a member solutions client, what's in the software that you're using if you ever want to move off it, what are you looking for in a software? And we are, where we are on our growth stage is good as well because there's companies that are way larger than us where it would be impossible to get a meeting with somebody like me or it just goes into a queue somewhere and who knows if it ever gets developed. But what's good about us, we're a small company, so we're always open to ideas. And well, just reaching out to me or anybody in the company, that information flows through everybody. Like I said, we all operate as one unit.
All right, so last question here. I would like for you to finish this sentence for me. The future of Member Manager is.
The future member manager is bright.
Nice. All right. Well, Michael, thank you for pulling back the curtain for us. I know our clients will love hearing how much thought and care goes into everything that your team builds. For everyone watching who wants to learn more or explore the latest updates of Member Manager, feel free to head over to membersolutions.com or reach out to our team and the email address that Michael had mentioned. And as well, stay tuned. We'll have more behind the scenes conversations like this coming very soon.